About business model, and especially on the web, there are a lot of companies that are using kind of freemium model. What's your point of view about such a model?
I think it's great. I mean, it's one among many. I'm not dogmatic on what business models or business models trend you should follow, because I think every situation is unique, and you need to figure out the right business model for the right, area you're working in and for the right time. So I think freemium is an interesting business model for specific situations, and we've used it for our book stuff. So we give 70 pages away for free about the concept around the business model canvas, and if people want to buy the book, the 288 pages, they can do that. So we work with that as well. But I don't think it makes sense everywhere. You really have to figure out, can the freemium business model fit or not? But I think free has its place today, and what you need to do is you need to instrumentalize it and figure out how you can use it at your advantage. But I wouldn't be dogmatic in saying this is everybody needs to do freemium, or freemium doesn't make sense. I think it makes sense in some situations and less in others.
And again, it's trying to find the correct way to link your product with the way you are going to sell it and the way you are going to provide it to your customers.
And I think the key here is to not take the company perspective, the product perspective. What you really need to do is understand customers. Now, this sounds trivial, but it's not. You really need to understand the drivers, the motivations, and the jobs that a customer wants to get done. And when you understand that, and when you deeply understand it, that's when you can make powerful business models. So, second advice to the one I gave before with the alternative business models would be, well, don't focus too much on your perspective. Take your customer's perspective. Sounds trivial. We often forget that when we're in the enthusiasm of our product or whatever we're doing, right? We really need to always map it back. Every business model, the only judge of your business model is always the customer at the end of the day. If a VC gives you $2 million, your venture capitalist, that's not a judgment of the quality of your business model, because you can still fail. So the only judge at the end of the day is the customer, who will pay or who will not pay and allow you to survive or not. So we really need to really map our business model back to the customer all the time.
And so if I get your point, people should spend a lot of time understanding what are the customers' needs, what's the job to be done before addressing the way to sell the product to the market.
Well, there are two aspects to it. One is, yes, try to understand customers, and that doesn't involve asking people what they want. This famous quote by Mr. Ford, when he's saying, well, if I would have asked people, they would have asked for a faster horse, not for a car, right? So it's about trying to understand the motivations of people. Indeed, that's the first thing. The second thing is, and this is something I learned from a friend of mine in Silicon Valley, startup guru Steve Blank, is, well, when you have the idea mapped out, so you think, okay, this business model could work, before actually building it, before creating the organizational structures, what you really want to do is test the underlying hypothesis of your business model. That includes pricing, that includes the channels, that includes, can I have access to these resources? So yes, you need to understand the customer first, but then you also need to create tests to see, would the customer really buy it? So you can make tests around pricing, you can make tests around channels. So you iterate, and once you figured out, hey, this really works, and you test it with customers, and you figure out this really works, that's when you build the company. That's when you pour in the VC money and you hire salespeople and so on. But I think what we're still doing much too often is we think we have a great idea and we build it, while we haven't even proven that the business model can work. And this is something that I find fascinating, is testing business models. It's a little bit like a game, and we need to do more of that as entrepreneurs, but also as intrapreneurs in big companies.